Naomi Carter and her fiancé, Daniel, were filled with hope as they stepped into their new life. They had saved for years to buy a large old Victorian house in Manchester, a house that, at first glance, promised charm and a sense of history. The high ceilings, large windows, and intricate woodwork spoke of a time long past, and the creaky floorboards seemed to murmur forgotten tales. While Daniel saw the beauty of the architecture and the opportunity for a fresh start, Naomi felt a quiet pull, as if the walls themselves were holding on to secrets. In the first few days, as they unpacked their belongings and began to settle in, small oddities started to emerge. On rainy nights, when the sky was dark and the sound of raindrops filled the rooms, Naomi would lie awake, listening to soft footsteps and faint whispers echoing through the hallways. Daniel tried to reassure her by explaining that old houses often made such noises. Still, Naomi couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to these sounds than just the settling of wood. One overcast afternoon, while exploring the attic full of dusty memories, Naomi discovered something unusual. Tucked away beneath a loose floorboard was a hidden compartment, and inside it lay an old, battered journal. The cover was stained with what appeared to be dried blood, and the pages had yellowed with age. The journal was signed with the name Rebecca Lowe. With trembling hands and a racing heart, Naomi began to read. The words on the pages told the story of a woman who had lived in the house decades ago, a woman whose life was marked by fear, sorrow, and a desperate longing for escape. Rebecca's journal entries were written in simple, heartfelt language. She described long, lonely nights spent in dark rooms and a constant terror that seemed to follow her everywhere. Rebecca spoke of an abusive lover whose affection had turned dangerous, and of moments when she felt utterly trapped, as if the very walls of the house were closing in on her. Naomi felt a deep empathy for Rebecca, whose struggles echoed the pain of a past that had never been laid to rest. The raw honesty in the journal made Naomi wonder how many secrets the house had kept hidden all these years. Determined to uncover the truth, Naomi shared her discovery with Daniel. At first, he was skeptical, suggesting that the journal might be nothing more than a relic of an old family feud or a forgotten romance. However, as more unexplained events began to occur, objects that moved without explanation and strange phone calls in the dead of night, Daniel's doubts slowly gave way to concern. The couple realized that the house might be haunted not by ghosts, but by a past filled with painful memories and unresolved truths. Naomi decided to seek more information about Rebecca Lowe. She visited the local historical society and spoke with elderly neighbors who remembered the old days. One kindly man, with a face lined by years of hardship, recalled Rebecca's name with sadness. "Rebecca was not just another tenant," he said softly. "Her disappearance shook our small community. We all hoped that time would heal the wounds, but some secrets are too heavy to forget." His words resonated deeply with Naomi, confirming that there was indeed more to the story than she had initially thought. The couple's investigation eventually led them to their landlord, Mr. Hawthorne, a reserved and quiet man who had always seemed to carry the weight of his own past. When Naomi and Daniel gently questioned him about the history of the house and Rebecca Lowe, Mr. Hawthorne's face grew grim. In a low, trembling voice, he confessed, "I once tried to protect Rebecca. I did things I now regret, thinking I was saving her from harm. But in hiding the truth, I only made the pain grow." His admission was filled with remorse, and his eyes told the story of a man burdened by secrets he had long kept buried. The revelation left Naomi and Daniel with more questions than answers, and the sense that the past was not so far behind them, after all. As the days turned into weeks, the atmosphere around the house grew heavier. Anonymous messages began to appear, warning Naomi to stop digging into the secrets of the past. One evening, while driving home on a dark, stormy road, Daniel noticed a car following them closely. The feeling of being watched crept over them both. It was as if someone or something did not want the truth to be revealed. The tension in the house was palpable. Every creak of the floorboards and every gust of wind against the windows heightened their fear. One afternoon, while searching through old family photos stored in the attic, Daniel made a startling discovery. Hidden behind a stack of faded photographs was an image that showed Mr. Hawthorne standing next to a young woman who bore a striking resemblance to the description Naomi had pieced together from Rebecca's journal. The photo was old and slightly blurred, But it was enough to suggest that Mr. Hawthorne had a much closer connection to Rebecca than he had admitted. This discovery deepened the mystery and left the couple questioning everything they thought they knew about the house and its keeper. With their hearts heavy and minds full of questions, Naomi and Daniel decided they could no longer live in the shadow of the past. They resolved to face the truth head-on, regardless of the risks. One evening, they returned to the house and sought out Mr. Hawthorne once more. In the dim light of the drawing room, with the sound of rain tapping on the windows, Naomi looked Mr. Hawthorne in the eyes and asked, "Why did you hide the truth about Rebecca? How could you let so much pain continue when you could have helped her?" His eyes filled with tears as he replied, "I was young and scared. I thought I was protecting her from a darkness I could not face. I never meant for things to go so wrong." His confession, though painful to hear, marked a turning point. The truth, once hidden beneath the creaky floorboards, was finally coming to light. In the aftermath of Mr. Hawthorne's confession, the police began to piece together the events that had led to Rebecca's tragic fate. It turned out that her disappearance was not the result of one single act, but rather a series of misguided choices, hidden abuses, and the desperate attempt of one man to shield someone from harm. The story of Rebecca Lowe was a stark reminder that secrets, no matter how deeply buried, have a way of emerging and causing more pain than they ever did when left in the light. For Naomi and Daniel, the experience left them with a profound lesson. They learned that trying to hide the truth, whether out of fear or a misguided sense of protection, only deepens the wounds and prevents healing. The house, with its worn floorboards and shadowed corners, became a symbol of the past that must be faced, not ignored. They understood that honesty, even when it is painful, is the only path to true redemption and forgiveness. As they finally left the house behind, Naomi and Daniel carried with them the bittersweet memory of Rebecca Lowe's story. They realized that every person's past, no matter how troubled, has lessons to teach us. The house had taught them that avoiding hard truths can lead to more sorrow, while facing them with courage opens the door to healing and growth. In time, they learned to let go of the fear that had once gripped them, embracing instead the hope that comes from understanding and accepting the truth. In the end, Secrets Beneath the Floorboards is a tale not just of mystery and suspense, but of the enduring power of truth and the courage it takes to confront the past. It is a reminder that our lives are shaped by the choices we make and the secrets we keep, but that the light of honesty can guide us toward a better, more compassionate future. No matter how heavy the burden of the past may seem, there is always a chance for forgiveness and renewal when we choose to face our truths with open hearts and minds.